and it's the end of another day, and I'm here standing on the street in a small town in the mountains of Montenegro. Come away from the coast now, so yeah, today was the last little section of coast here for a little bit, and I'm standing on the street because I'm staying at a hostel tonight, and everyone else is sleeping. I don't want to disturb them, so I'm trying to do this somewhere, where I won't disturb them. So apologies for the cars, but today was a really great day. I really enjoyed today, and I wasn't sure how I was going to go because yesterday was a little bit of a weird day for me, just mentally, I guess. And I was a bit wary when I kind of woke up this morning, and I was like, I don't know if how good I'm feeling about riding another day today, and I hope I don't get too bored again, and some of these thoughts bouncing around in my head. And so it took me a while to get ready, and some of that was intentional because I've been trying to go a bit slower, but I think another part of it was me just kind of procrastinating getting started a bit as well. But eventually, when I did get started, it was around 11 o'clock or so. I set out, and it was almost straight away riding on the coast again, because that's where I camped, and that was awesome, and was enjoying that, and rode for a little bit, and I had told myself, all right, today I'm going to have a swim. I'm going to swim in the ocean, because I'd been riding alongside the coast for since Croatia, and the water is so crystal clear, beautiful. And since arriving in Montenegro, I hadn't swum in the ocean at all. And that's because it takes a while to get everything unpacked and then pack it into the bike again, and you have to dry yourself off, and I wasn't sure if I was going to find somewhere to wash off the salt water and all this stuff. So it just seems easier just to keep riding. I've spent a lot of time in the ocean now, so going for a quick swim is not that exciting to me, but I promised myself that I was going to do it today, so I did, and I was riding for, I don't know, an hour or so after setting up from camp, and I found a little nice spot on the beach, and I went for a swim, and it was really nice. It was cold, but it wasn't too cold, and there was a shower nearby, which I borrowed from the beach club and washed off with the salt water, and now I was feeling really nice and refreshed, and excited for the rest of the day. So I kept going, and then it was about lunchtime at this point, so I was looking for somewhere to get some lunch, as I wasn't carrying anything. And I turned around the corner just as I was getting off the coast to start heading up into the mountains, and there was this local little bakery on the corner. So I thought, all right, this is the spot. So I pulled in there, got 3 pastries and espresso, and sat down and watched kind of the characters coming in and out of the bakery and doing their thing, and enjoyed the pastries. One was a burek, which had some cheese in it, which was really nice, and then another thing which was called a sir, which I had never seen before, but I wanted to try it, which was kind of like a bun with some cheese in it as well, which was great. Nothing fantastic, but it was good. And the last thing was a cherry pastry, which was more of a dessert, so I saved that for later. And then I set off up a hill, which I knew was coming, but I didn't really realize how big it was. And it actually turns out that it was about 1,200 meters of climbing, pretty much non-stop. it was fairly shallow gradient, fortunately, but the climb was over about 30 kilometers, so it took a couple of hours to get to the top, and the views were really quite amazing on the way up. There was a few cars, so there was a bit sketchy at some points, like trying to get around the cars, but yeah, it was just really amazing views over the ocean as I was climbing up that mountain. And I started listening to a new audio book because I hadn't listened to a new one in a while, and I wasn't sure what to pick. And in fact, a few days ago I had downloaded the autobiography of Bob Dylan, and I had started listening to that yesterday, and I started it and I very quickly realized that the book was in German, so I wasn't able to listen to it. So I was able to get a refund for that from Amazon, so thanks Amazon. And today I instead started a new book, which is called How Bad Do You Want It? And it's all about the mental element of endurance sports. And I basically picked that book because I listened to a podcast yesterday with the author of that book, and he was talking all about how your mind is really the most important part of any endurance training or performance or competition that you do. And yeah, they related a lot to this book, so I thought it was worth giving a shot because I am thinking about doing some bikepacking races in the future. Yeah, it was quite cool. I got maybe an hour or two into it. I listened to it all the way up the hill, and a lot of it quite resonated with me because they were saying stuff like your body is always limited by your basically mental fitness is what they call it. So your ability to deal with perceived effort is kind of another term they coined in this book, where as you're working on something hard and your body is telling you no, your ability for your mind to basically push past that is what actually determines your performance in any endurance capacity. And that really resonates with me because I remember a while ago I did a Vipassana retreat, which is like a 10-day silent meditation, and in that experience I really learned how strong the mind can be after sitting for 10 hours a day without moving for 10 days in a row. It was pretty mentally challenging, and I remember I finished that experience, and soon after that I started running, and I had never really been a runner, but after doing that meditation practice I found I was able to run 12 kilometers quite easily actually, and I think the most I ever run basically with no training was 16 kilometers, and that was just after doing this meditation training. So to me that just kind of confirmed that running and I think most endurance sports are basically a mind game that you play with yourself. And so yeah, I was listening to this audiobook today and just kind of just nodding along as they were talking as I was riding up this mountain and kind of putting into practice everything they were talking about, which was kind of cool. And I got to the top of the mountain and enjoyed the view. There was a little cafe at the top which had amazing views of the coast, so I went in there and they make you buy a drink. So I got a Fanta, which was €3.50, which is pretty expensive, but it's alright. It was a very beautiful view. And as I came out from the cafe, there was another cyclist who just rolled in with all the bikepacking gear, and so I said hello to him straight away, and we got chatting, and turns out he's a German guy and he's riding to North Macedonia to meet up with his girlfriend. And we chatted for a bit, and since we were going in the same direction, we left together, and we rode together for a while, and we're chatting, and he was talking about how he had tried a bikepacking race a few months ago, and how hard it was, and how he had to scratch after a couple of days because it was too hard. So that was quite interesting, listening to his experience with that, amongst other things we spoke about. And he was going to go up another mountain and go a bit of a different way, but it was raining a little bit as well, so I think mainly for that reason he decided to come the same route as me, and we went back down the mountain again and enjoyed some really fantastic views, and just scooted down into the valley, into this nice little town where we are now. And I was thinking of camping tonight because I found what looked like a cool camping spot this morning, but it was raining again, and there was also a hostel that Tim, the German, was going to, which I'd also seen. It was only €10, so basically it's probably cheaper than camping. And considering that it was raining, it seemed like a pretty good option. So we both ended up going there, and I tell you, it's probably one of the weirdest hostels I ever stayed at. It's like this really run down old building. There's no dorms, there's just a couple of beds in a room. The owner doesn't speak any English, but everything works. There was a shower and we got a bed, and there's actually a couple of other people staying there as well, and even a couple of other bike travelers, which is really surprising. And a bike traveler from Russia arrived about an hour ago as well, and it turns out he's been traveling by bike the last at least a year, I think, basically trying to find a new country to live, by the sounds of it, because he doesn't want to live in Russia anymore. So I think he was a bit beaten up from all the rain, because he arrived a bit later than us, and it has been raining a bit tonight for the first time in a couple of weeks, which hopefully will not continue tomorrow. The forecast says it won't, but we'll see. But anyway, the Russian guy, I think, was a bit tired, and so we didn't talk too much. But quite interesting that there's a few of us at this little wacky little hostel. I think it's called Hostay Holiday. That's the cool little place we're staying tonight. And we went out for dinner. I had a pizza, which was €4, which is a new record as well for the cheapest pizza I've had so far. And that's about it for today. So I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. I might try and get to Albania with Tim. He's riding a lot further than me. He's going 150 kilometers a day, so I'm not sure if I can keep up with him, or if I really want to. But we'll see how tomorrow goes, and maybe we'll ride together. But if not, then I won't. So that's it. I'll leave it at that. Bye.